reason why I like the catchers know what's going on, and maybe them calling too, is because, and the pitchers understanding, is because, you know, the kids come up to high school and I say, well, you know, what would you throw in this position? You know, the kid looks at you like, well, you know, you only been playing ball your whole life. Don't you have a clue? I don't know, my coach always called the pitcher. Even if you're calling, let them understand why you're calling.
So we could probably do this for 10 hours if we get into the whole mechanics thing about pitching and catching. So, I mean, I'm going to start it and we'll work off it. And I'd rather it be where you guys have questions than me sit here and tell you, this is how we have to do it. That's where this needs to be. That, you know, there's 350 pitchers in the big leagues. We talked about this the other day, and all of them are different. They all have a different delivery. If there was a right way to do it, they'd try to figure it out. They would be doing it the same way. Everyone's different, you know what I mean? So for me to sit here and say, this is exactly what we want to do, I'm not so sure about that. So what I'll do is I'll give you a couple of the principles that I talk about that I think are critical. You know, when you look at this whole chain of events and all without rhythm, and that's my key word, without rhythm, you will not throw strikes consistently.
Greg, mind if I go for something?
Go.
Whatever he's saying, and so I don't have to repeat it again, everything he's talking about in terms of pitch mechanics, rhythm, balance, energy transfer, this pertains to catchers too. The only difference is that pitchers are going like this, catchers are going like this. But arm angle and rhythm and balance and all that great stuff that he's about to talk about, just keep in mind that it's a catcher as well. Okay?
I was working with someone the other day, and I say this all the time because everyone does it. So I'll see a kid get into the batter's box, and they're like, I'll see a kid free throw, just like, you know, defense, anything, then all of a sudden they get on the ground, and I just watch them. Really? What? Like, you would never get into the batter's box, you know. Every single kid that has not been told, hey, think about this, addresses the rubber like that, with your feet together, horrible posture, and like this. So the first thing we talk about is upset. Again, there's no right way to do it, but establish your posture. That's the first thing. What's your posture? If you don't know, get into your batting stance. It's something like that. Does anyone think there's an advantage to be gained throwing out of the windup? Anyone think you throw harder or something like that out of the windup? Because I didn't throw a pitch out of the windup for about 9 years in a row. So I looked like an absolute idiot one time because I started the game in front of 10,000 people. I'm starting the game out of the stretch and the other team's going. So I'm right here. So if there was an advantage to be gained, then Mariano Rivera would start the 9th inning out of the windup. So there really is no advantage to be gained. So if you guys, because I get that a lot, don't you throw harder out of the windup? Not really, because whether I start out of the windup or I start here, I still got to get myself in the same position at first strike. To be honest, you probably throw harder out of the stretch because you probably screw something up early. And all that extra movement probably takes you away from where you're trying to go and it winds up becoming a deterrent instead of something that helps you. So less movement, easier to repeat, better chance of me getting into that critical position at foot strike with less things going on. So with that said, and again, to be honest too, it's hard enough to repeat one delivery. And I did a thing, did some research on this. American Sports Medicine Institute down in Birmingham, Alabama, they did a study. They had like 100 pitchers throw 100 pitches. And I'm guilty of this. I talk about that. Repeat your delivery, repeat. It's the first thing I talk about. And not one kid repeated their delivery once. Doesn't happen. Never comes out before. Yeah. No one's ever repeated their delivery. So we can talk about it. I'm going to still say, hey, let's try. I don't want to throw one pitch like this and then the next one like that, of course. Let's try to get as close as we can get. But if you really don't repeat delivery, which blew my mind a little bit. So anyway, so out of the stretch, I'm real big on starting not 50-50, not like this, obviously. I get a little bit of a wider base and I preset or preload my weight 60-40 on my back leg. When we start getting into 50-70 and we start talking about going quicker to the plate, you just cut off, I don't know, 0.2 of a second, because if I'm 50-50, I have to get back. And if I have to get back, my head's coming. So I do a much better job of stabilizing the middle of my body if I can preset right here. Plus, this is a strong position, right? If I get my weight on the inside of my knee, my shin, my ankle, my thigh, I'm in a good athletic, strong position, okay? Before we even go any further, this is real big for me too. And we're going to have you guys play catch a little bit later on. How often we're playing catch, and we're having a catch, I use this as a guide. If this was a straight line, and I do this too, until I started talking to professionals about this, I'm throwing over there, and I go, and my foot is angled over there. And I'm trying to throw the ball over there. And I keep going, and my hips keep getting blocked off. Or, what the hell's going on? Well, shit, look at your foot. Would you ever get into the batter's box? There were some kids did like this. And that's how they become pitchers. But, so, yeah, that's how I hit. That's how I became a pitcher. So this is not a strong position. If I'm hitting, this is the position I want to be in with my back foot. Obviously, same thing with the front foot. So not only that, it's alignment. So you guys know Greg Maddox, right? This is who told me this. My good friend had spent years with Greg Maddox, and I got to talk to him a lot. I was a player then, so I wasn't thinking like a coach. But now when I go back to these conversations, I have a different perspective on what he was talking about. As you know, he was able to throw the ball here better than anybody ever. He was also getting pitches over here for strikes, but that's another sort of
So that's his catcher though. You got
there you go. Actually, like he said, and this is when he had his Hall of Fame speech, he said that me and Glavin, yeah, we maybe got that pitch, but the other pitcher did as well. We just executed it better than the other guys. So something to think about. That was like a good point. So I said, how do you do this? Well, how come you could throw the ball over here better than anyone ever? And it's just so simple for you. And he said, Ben, throw a pitch. He's like, stop. Again, my foot. He's like, so here's the deal. If I'm going to locate a pitch on my glove side, it's all done before the pitch. All I'm going to do is I'm going to get better alignment with my foot. So I'm not saying he'll be like that. But he's just going to angle his foot a little bit, preset it toward the side of the plate he's working for. And that was his, I guess, secret. I don't know if it was because he said it or what happened. I threw about 37 in a row on the glove side, like with no problem and freedom. It just was unbelievable.
If I asked you, what's the worst pitch a pitcher could throw for the highest amount of injuries, what would you say it is? Major leagues.
Worst pitch.
Say what?
Health-wise?
Health-wise.
Oh, health-wise.
Yeah.
Curve. I'll go fastball.
Okay.
There's no difference in the difference between curveball, screwball, changeup obviously, slider, or a fastball thrown under control. The worst, the highest level of injuries, a fastball is thrown with full speed. When the pitcher tries to push the fastball, try to make it simple. The harder, if you try to throw the hardest you can, you'll have more injuries. And they found this up from the major leagues, and unbelievable, all the way down to that there's no risk in throwing a curveball or a regular fastball if it's thrown under control as compared to getting on the mound or on that. I just want to say one thing. The problem with the curveball is, and we discussed this the other night, it's not taught properly. So most of the time I say, we said, stay away from it. Stay away from it. If I'm teaching it, if Greg's teaching it, and we're there every game to watch the board, we could see one pitch that's thrown correctly, we could correct it. You follow me? But it doesn't happen. It's never good, and it's always little league. It's going to stay with them for the rest of their lives, even if they get into college. They'll always have that little league record. And the reason why I'm saying this is the last thing I'm going to say. Every pitcher in your divisions gets on the mound and wants to throw the ball as hard as he can. I see it. And they do the first thing that Greg said was that about rhythm. And they have no rhythm, and they have no consistency, and their approach to pitching is different on every time they throw the ball. So it means their arm slots off, their weight distribution's off, their balance is off, and there's your injuries. But every kid does it. They take that baseball and they speed up. And they think they're going fast, gets them to throw the ball hard. So most of them end up in this position when they're going to throw it, and that's where the injuries come from. And that's why they never become pitchers.
Go ahead. Guys, if you could just bring it in a little bit, and I want you to kind of understand the realm, so to say, of what a catcher does. Okay? So they went over all this stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. Now, I want you to understand, we're going to go back to communication again, okay? Imagine then, okay, at 12 years old on the mound. That's what your Little League guys are going through right now. Okay? They can do this because they're intelligent enough, they are talented, but imagine now your 12-year-old has to figure this stuff out with Ron. okay? So we as adults, we get it. We understand that, you know, you have to get your leg up in a position to fire the ball home. The catcher now, in this position here, he's seeing all these things that are going on that the pitcher's talking about. And he understands your vision as a coach, okay? Now, I'm over here as a coach, and you went to all these clinics and stuff like that, but how do you communicate that message that they're talking about, right? Logically, what do you say to yourself? You would say, Johnny, get your leg up, get direction, this, that, and the 17 other parents that are saying the same thing, okay? This is where you need to use your catcher as a tool. They talk, you know, what did coach tell you and stuff like that. So use the catcher as your form of communication. So you can spread this message, but instead of yelling at the pitcher, he's got 16,000 things going on in his mind. Use the catcher. The catcher can handle this stuff. So this is awesome. I love it, but this is part of the equation as well. If we don't have this part back here, this is useless.
I'll give you the absolute truth. If you have a really good pitching staff and a shit catcher, you don't have a good pitching staff. If you have an average pitching staff and an absolute beast behind the plate, you have an awesome pitching staff.
And that's the reason why catchers don't have to hit in major leagues. If they can lead your pitching staff, they can hit 121, right?
Some of them do.
And they do, and a lot of them do, majority of them do. But if they are mentally and physically under control, notice I said mentally and physically, right? They're leading your pitching staff, you're going to get a much better result.
Mental aspect is.
I mean, from a physical standpoint. But meant that we all, without comment, location, then movement, then deception, then velocity. So part of our charts, we keep track, or I used to do this with the college guys, I used to keep track of a couple of things. What's the most important pitch? Everyone heard first pitch strike, right?
Right.
Has anyone ever studied this? Anyone ever really look at it? Because I used to say, again, with you guys, say all the time, let's go, first pitch strike, best pitch in baseball. Then you look at the stats. I'm not going by a month, I'm not going by a year, I'm going by 10 years of Major League Baseball data, a decade worth. 00 to 10, 00 to 01, not a significant advantage. The league hit like, I think the league OPS on 01, it was a little bit lower. It was like, forgive me about the number, maybe 308, and then the 10 counter was like 337. Not a significant, a little bit of an advantage. Anyone have an idea what the most important count is based on these numbers? Any idea? Throw a guess out there. What the most critical count is based on the data? They have 10 years of data.
2-1.
Close.
I was going to say 0-2.
1 and 1.
1-1.
When the count goes 1-2, the league OPS was like 187. When it went to 2 and 1, the league's OPS was like 436. Like, and again, give them a digit or two off. Something ridiculous like that. So to go along with that, I used to start keeping track of this stuff, and you know, we had guys really putting a big emphasis on winning that 1-1 count, and then you have the CSI pitcher who we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and he goes out there and he's getting 9 1-1 counts. There's 8 curveballs in those 1-1 counts, and all of them are balls. And I go, what are you doing? You know, wouldn't it make sense if you need a strike to throw maybe your best command pitch? All right, maybe not. How about your second best command pitch? So let's try to throw a pitch that we can command in that 1-1 count. I'll give you one of the most amazing stats that I've heard in a long time. Going back to Greg Maddox, and again, the numbers might be 1 or 2 off. He faced 21,000 hitters, 21,600 and something hitters in his life, something like that. He got to a 3-0 count 307 times. That's, hold on. 164 of them were intentional walks.
That's a control class.
Sick.
Oh,
I was sick.
That's amazing.
Crazy. So, you know, that's a perfect
Yeah, I'm
example.
going to kind of hit on that.
Please, have at it.
Now, everything we talk about, really, if you think about it, boils down to their ability to focus, right? They're on that mound, we talked about 16 parents screaming their name, their girlfriend, their cell phone's going off, you're screaming, I'm hopefully not screaming, and there's 16,000 things competing for their focus. But yet we never discuss it as coaches, ever. We talk about how important hitting is, drills, this, that, the glove they have, the bat that they have, right? The cleats they just bought from Dick's for $122. right? But we never talk about the most important thing, which is focus.
Everything you learn or you teach, you shouldn't just take it because somebody says to do something. Your players and you should know why they're doing what they're doing. Whether it's hitting, fielding, pitching, they should know why they're doing it. And then you're going to have ball players who can think out there. A lot of times we talk about pitching, when I do my pitches, is if they're having a little struggle, I'd say they're missing up and out, up and out, up and out. They already know there's a checklist of things that they could be doing wrong. So I usually go like this. That means just step off the mound for a second. They usually step back, and it gives them a few seconds, and they turn around, and then they come back. And if they continue to have a problem, then either catch or go out, or I'll go out and talk to them what it is. But most of the time, they figure it out. It's one of those things that they're missing up and out, up and out. You know, or if they're missing down, maybe a step is wrong, you know? But that's the key. And that was good that you said that. That's the key, to be able to fix your problems, you know? The kid strikes out, he comes over, he says, what happened? You know, everybody strikes out. He goes, he tells you what he did wrong, or what he did, you know, maybe it was the pitch before that's, you know, he wanted to hit it, and then he lost focus, he wasn't focused, task in hand, pitch it out. That's great. Good job. Good job. Don't worry. You know, good job.
How about going out to the mound, and instead of saying, like you just said, well, I love that you said that, awesome. How about instead of saying, you know, keep your front side closed, tell them 3 things you did awesome. Think about that.
Some guys are this way. To me, the rhythm and the tempo are the most important things. I used to have this internal clock inside my head where I knew that my rhythm, you know, and to me, rhythm is one movement into the next, into the next, into the next, as rhythm. So my rhythm was something like 1, 2, 3. And like in my head, I knew that internal clock was discombobulated. I knew something, that was my fix. Better rhythm, better tempo. But we could talk about when to stride, ASMI, it's got to be between 77 and 84% of your body height. Go tell Tim Lincecum that. This is 108. So what do we do? We tell him to get back to 77. Sure. Yeah, sure, I can throw a few. Just heads up.
Energy next to his energy, right? See how it's just flowing? This can go for a 12-year-old too. You know the energy is connected correctly when you get a pop from your catcher's glove. Hear that?
I thought I was just throwing one. So I want you to watch the end of the throw, because this is a big gray area where a lot of people, I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but a lot of pitching coaches differ in their opinion about this. I'm going to do something that you would probably hear a lot of coaches say, hey, you're not in a good position to field for baseball, so check out my finishing. Here's a conventional thing that we want our guys. Which ball came out better? Which ball was harder? I'll give you my first one. I'll try to throw at the same exact arm speed and be in a position to field. Which ball is better? By far, right? So really, and it's all a timing issue. I am not saying to do this. That's not at all what I'm saying. Balance, yes. Dynamic balance. Balance from start to finish is a better way of saying that. I'm never losing control of my body, even though I'm... Have you ever seen a guy in the big leagues throw hard and it goes... You ever seen that? My point with this whole thing is back to ASMI. There must be some smart people there. But they said, what the heck is going on? Everyone said, how do you go harder? What's going on? Okay, so what's going on here? There are some guys that throw 96 that will want to throw 100. And guys that throw 92 want to throw 96. What the heck are those guys doing? And again, this is not the only thing. But they did an awesome study that I just saw recently where they had 2 pitchers and they threw the exact, they had the same exact arm speed. And one pitch was 83 and one pitch was 87. So they're like, all right, well, I guess it's not the arm speed, so what the heck is it? Anybody have any idea what the common denominator was? There's one thing that directly linked to an increase in fastball velocity. Hip rotation velocity. The pitcher was 83, his hips were rotating 3 miles an hour, or whatever the was, and the other one was 6. So there's a little bit of a difference, and 4 miles an hour. So here, yeah, hips and hands, no doubt. So my point is, if I'm going to teach a kid, I'm going to limit rotation. I'm not saying, listen, if we control our front side and the glove can hear us, shoot, you are be in a position to make it, and if you're not losing control of your body, you'll be okay to catch it. But I don't know, I've thrown 15 million pitches in my life, 7 balls at bat. So should I worry about 7 or 14,993? I'm gonna worry about the bigger number.
The depth is determining his confidence, right? He may throw a perfect throw on a pitch to the knees, and I go like this because I'm too deep. Right? I lost a strike. In his mind, he's saying, this catcher sucks.
We're gonna do that.
Right? What am I doing? Bring somebody else up. Right? Just because of the depth. Imagine if I just stepped up 6 inches, instead of catching that ball out of the zone, he throws the same exact pitch, it's a strike down. See the difference? So it's perspective, right? Perspective is going to equal reality on the baseball field.
You want to be over the ball. That elbow.
So,
Now, the very last part of this is that pitchers didn't say helping by pitching the ball. Like the ball out. This is unhelpful. This is unhelpful. And from here, you would step forward and release back, right? Now you would rotate with your hand back. Rotate with your hand back, the other hand is in. You're going to bring your hand forward. Your head's over your knee, right? You snap the ball. Now your back leg, after you're done throwing, is a drink forward. That's how you do it.
it takes us 4 hours to throw.
The difference is regular, but for now get long. If you had a throw, you could teach it to you.
Greg, you have to speak to team today?
What? Yeah. You know how old she is?
Watch my angle of my hand.
It's really about just kind of keeping the same arm speed.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to focus on.
I don't know if you were there the first time we talked about long tossing with the change. Okay. So we long tossed with the change up, and yeah, it was an absolute mandatory thing. It didn't matter what you did that day throwing wise. They made it. They made you go 75 or 90 feet in the long toss. We have these arm speed. Now you create deception, and also it's in your hand, and you're feeling it, and you're getting confidence in it. So the way that, which is perfect, the way you said it, but the way I teach is just real simple. I throw all 4-seam fastballs, right? So all I want to do is throw 4-seam fastball, except instead of using these 2 fingers, I'm using those 2.
Let's see, Greg.
That's it. Now what you do with the circle, let that happen over the course of time. Based on the size of their hands, some guys over here, some guys here, some guys here.
Alright, so you guys get the concept that it's not that easy. It's really not.
Right down, as soon as you're going to stop there. This hand's this. Shoulder width, elbow, either a little above, too high, too low. You see the back of your hand? This, you should be able to put a towel across this. Now, whether you want to put it straight like this, or whether you want to bring it in like this is okay.